The story begins with a man named John, isolated on the island of Patmos. He is meditating, seeking answers in solitude, when suddenly, the sky above him tears open with light. A voice, deep and resonant, calls his name. Overwhelmed, he falls to the ground, trembling. As he looks up, he sees a radiant portal forming before him. A divine hand seems to beckon him forward. Despite his fear, he steps into the light and finds himself transported to a realm beyond human comprehension. The air feels alive, vibrating with unseen energy. Before him stands a magnificent throne, surrounded by 24 figures robed in white, their golden crowns glinting in the ethereal glow. John's breath catches as he realizes he is witnessing the divine court of heaven. John's senses are overwhelmed as he takes in the throne room's details. The central throne is unlike anything earthly, appearing to be carved from precious stones that shift in color, jasper and carnelian glowing in harmony. Around it, a rainbow like an emerald encircles the throne, bathing everything in a serene green way. The elders, seated on their thrones, turn their attention toward John. Their faces are both youthful and ancient, glowing with wisdom and authority. As they rise, they remove their crowns and fall prostrate before the central throne. They cry out in unison, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was, and is to come." John feels the weight of their words pressing against his soul, and for a moment, he forgets to breathe. Enjoying the story? Like, subscribe, and share to support us. Let's continue. Suddenly, the room shifts. The space is no longer confined, but seems to stretch infinitely. John notices movement around the throne. 4 living creatures appear, each unique and awe-inspiring. One has the face of a lion, radiating strength and majesty. Another resembles an ox, symbolizing endurance and power. The third is like a man, wise and contemplative, while the fourth has the face of an eagle, fierce and untamed. Each creature is covered in countless eyes, shimmering like stars. They chant alongside the elders, their voices blending in a heavenly chorus. "You are worthy, our Lord and God, to receive glory and honor and power. For you created all things, and by your will, they exist and were created." John feels as though he is hearing the very fabric of creation sing. As the chant continues, John notices something extraordinary: massive wheels of light beside the creatures. These wheels are unlike anything he has ever seen, appearing as if one wheel is nested within another. The wheels glow with the brilliance of topaz, and like the creatures, they too are covered in eyes. As they move, they seem to defy the laws of physics, turning in every direction without needing to pivot. John remembers the prophet Ezekiel's words and understands he is witnessing the chariot throne of God, a symbol of divine omniscience and presence. The Spirit of God, he realizes, moves within these wheels, guiding them. The sight is so overwhelming that John falls to his knees, unable to process the magnitude of what he is witnessing. Time seems to lose meaning in this celestial realm. The elders resume their seats, but their attention is drawn to the throne. From within its blinding light, a scroll appears, sealed with 7 seals. John senses its immense importance, but also the despair of the heavens, for no one seems worthy to open it. Suddenly, a lamb appears. It looks as if it has been slain, yet it stands tall, its wounds glowing with divine radiance. The elders and creatures bow before the lamb, offering golden bowls of incense, which John realizes represent the prayers of humanity. The lamb reaches for the scroll, and as it does, the heavens erupt into joyous praise. The sound reverberates through every fiber of John's being, filling him with hope. The lamb breaks the first seal, and a thunderous voice echoes from one of the creatures, saying, "Come." A rider emerges, seated on a white horse, carrying a bow and wearing a crown. The rider seems noble and triumphant, yet an air of foreboding surrounds him. John realizes he is witnessing the beginning of divine judgment. The next seals are broken, and more riders emerge. A red horse with a rider wielding a sword symbolizing war, a black horse, its rider holding scales, representing famine, and finally, a pale horse, its rider named Death, followed by Hades. The heavens tremble as these apocalyptic figures ride forth, their purpose ordained by the scroll. As the sixth seal is opened, the earth shakes violently, the sun turns black as sackcloth, and the moon becomes as red as blood. Stars fall from the heavens, and mountains and islands are moved from their places. The mighty of the earth kings, generals, the rich, and the poor flee to the mountains, crying out for the rocks to hide them from the wrath of the Lamb. John is struck by the magnitude of humanity's fear, but even in the chaos, a divine order persists. The scene shifts, and John sees four angels standing at the corners of the earth, holding back the winds. Another angel ascends from the east, carrying the seal of the living God. He commands the four angels not to harm the earth or sea until the servants of God are marked. John watches as 144,000 are sealed, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. These chosen ones stand resolute, their foreheads glowing with the divine seal, as chaos continues to unfold around them. A great multitude from every nation, tribe, people, and language appears before the throne. They are clothed in white robes and hold palm branches, singing, "Salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb." The scene is one of unity and redemption, as these individuals are revealed to be those who have endured great tribulations. Their voices rise in a crescendo of worship, echoing through the heavens. John is then shown the behemoth, a massive creature grazing peacefully in a lush valley. Its size and strength are unparalleled, with muscles rippling beneath its thick skin. Its tail sways like a cedar, and its bones are as strong as bronze. Despite its enormous power, the behemoth remains docile, a testament to the Creator's ability to control even the mightiest of beasts. John feels a deep reverence as he witnesses the behemoth's quiet majesty. The vision shifts to the Leviathan, emerging from the turbulent sea. Its scales shimmer like armor, impenetrable and glistening in the moonlight. Flames burst from its mouth as it thrashes, creating waves that crash against distant shores. The creature's power is both terrifying and awe-inspiring, a living embodiment of chaos. Yet, even the Leviathan is subject to divine authority. Job's story unfolds as John watches. The behemoth and Leviathan become symbols of Job's struggle to comprehend divine wisdom. Job, kneeling in prayer, listens as God speaks from the whirlwind, describing the creature's power. Job's complaints fade, replaced by humility and a renewed sense of awe for God's unfathomable ways. The angel of death is shown during the final plague in Egypt. Cloaked in darkness, it moves silently through the night, entering homes not marked by lamb's blood. Cries of mourning rise as firstborns fall, yet the homes of the faithful remain untouched. The angel's presence is both terrifying and just, a harbinger of liberation for God's people. The seraphim appear again, hovering above the throne. Each has 6 wings, 2 covering their faces, 2 covering their feet, and 2 used for flight. Their fiery forms radiate divine purity as they sing, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty." Their chant fills the heavens, and their movements are synchronized with the rhythm of their worship. Lucifer's story unfolds as John witnesses his fall. Once the most beautiful and radiant of angels, Lucifer's pride leads him to rebel against God. He gathers a third of the angels to his cause, but their rebellion is swiftly crushed. Cast out of heaven, Lucifer falls like lightning, his once glorious form darkened by his defiance. Lucifer's rebellion continues to unfold as John watches. Lucifer, once known as the morning star, is depicted rallying his followers. They appear radiant but restless, their loyalty shifting as his words weave illusions of equality with the Creator. The heavens erupt in conflict. Angelic hosts loyal to God clash with Lucifer's forces, their battles lighting up the celestial expanse. Michael, the archangel, stands firm at the head of God's army, wielding a blazing sword. Lucifer's pride blinds him to the inevitable defeat. When the rebellion ends, Lucifer and his followers are cast into a dark abyss. John feels the weight of this event, a reminder of the consequences of pride and defiance. John's vision shifts to a scene of profound darkness, the abyss into which Lucifer and his fallen angels have been cast. The space is vast and desolate, filled with echoes of torment and regret. Lucifer, now known as Satan, begins to forge his own kingdom. He gathers his followers and instills in them a hatred for humanity, whom God has created in his image. The fallen angels twist into grotesque forms, their beauty replaced by malice. John senses the beginning of a spiritual war that will ripple through all of creation. The scene transitions back to heaven, where John witnesses the creation of humanity. God forms Adam from the dust, breathing life into him. The Garden of Eden appears, vibrant and lush, filled with creatures and plants of every kind. Eve is created, her presence completing the harmony. However, John's heart sinks as he sees the serpent slithering toward them, its cunning eyes gleaming with malevolence. The serpent whispers lies, leading them to the forbidden fruit. As they eat, the garden dims, and an angel with a flaming sword appears to drive them out. John feels the weight of humanity's fall. John sees the cherubim placed at the entrance to Eden, their flaming swords barring humanity's return. These celestial beings stand as sentinels, guarding the path to the tree of life. Their forms radiate a sense of divine authority and sorrow, as they enforce the consequences of humanity's disobedience. The flaming swords seem to burn with a sadness for the lost innocents. John feels the deep divide that sin has created between man and God. The vision shifts to the behemoth and Leviathan once again. These creatures now represent more than physical power. They symbolize humanity's struggle with pride and chaos. The behemoth, though immense and powerful, remains grounded and peaceful, while the Leviathan thrashes violently, a reminder of the destructive force of untamed pride. God's voice speaks, reminding John that his creation, even in its wildest forms, is under his control. The behemoth grazes quietly, while the Leviathan sinks into the depths, subdued by divine will. A new vision begins as John is transported to a celestial banquet. The 24 elders, the 4 living creatures, and multitudes of the redeemed gather around a table that stretches endlessly. The table is adorned with radiant fruits and golden chalices. Joyful songs echo as the Lamb presides, his presence filling the space with peace and unity. Each guest's face glows with gratitude, their earthly trials now a distant memory. John realizes this is the ultimate reunion, the union of humanity with the divine. John's attention is drawn back to the Lamb, who is now revealing the contents of the scroll. Each seal broken unleashes a new vision of God's justice and mercy. The 7th seal brings silence to the heavens, a moment of profound reverence. Incense rises from golden bowls, representing the prayers of humanity. John feels the weight of these prayers, each one a testament to humanity's longing for connection with the divine. The final vision takes John to the New Jerusalem, descending from the heavens like a bride adorned for her husband. The city shines with a brilliance beyond compare. Its streets are paved with gold, and its gates are made of pearl. Rivers of life flow from the throne, flanked by trees bearing fruit for the healing of nations. The glory of God illuminates the city, and there is no night. John sees multitudes rejoicing, their faces reflecting perfect peace. In the final moments of his vision, John returns to the throne room. The 24 elders and the 4 living creatures are joined by angels and redeemed souls, all worshiping together. Their voices blend into a single, harmonious chorus, declaring the eternal reign of God and the Lamb. John is overwhelmed by a sense of completion and harmony, knowing he has witnessed the ultimate plan of creation unfold. The throne room begins to shimmer, and John finds himself witnessing the final battle between the forces of light and darkness. The scene is vast, spanning the heavens and the earth. On one side stands Michael the Archangel, leading an army of radiant beings clothed in light. Their armor reflects the brilliance of the throne room, and their swords gleam with celestial fire. On the other side, a darkened army emerges, led by Lucifer, now fully transformed into Satan. His once beautiful form is twisted, his wings blackened and jagged. The clash is fierce, with celestial forces colliding in bursts of light and shadow. Each blow reverberates through creation, as the struggle represents the culmination of eons of conflict. Despite the darkness's attempts to overpower, the forces of light remain steadfast, their resolve strengthened by the Lamb's sacrifice. John feels the weight of this moment, understanding its eternal significance. As the battle reaches its crescendo, John witnesses the decisive moment when Satan is bound. An angel of immense size and power descends from the heavens, holding a great chain. The angel binds Satan and casts him into a bottomless pit, sealing it with a key that glows with divine energy. The pit itself is dark and foreboding, yet it cannot contain the radiance of the angel's authority. The forces of darkness scatter, defeated, and the battlefield grows quiet. The heavens erupt in celebration, with the sounds of harps and songs of victory filling the air. John feels a deep sense of relief and joy, knowing that evil has been subdued. The vision shifts once more, and John sees the new heaven and new earth. The old world has passed away, and what lies before him is a realm of pure beauty and perfection. The earth is vibrant, its skies clear and radiant. Rivers of crystal clear water flow freely, and trees bearing fruit of every kind line their banks. Animals live in harmony, and the air is filled with a peace that John has never experienced before. People walk freely, their faces glowing with joy and contentment. There is no pain, no suffering, only the presence of the divine permeating everything. John realizes this is the fulfillment of God's promise, the restoration of all things. John is brought to the gates of the New Jerusalem. The city's beauty is indescribable, its walls shimmering with precious stones of every color. Each gate is a single, massive pearl, and the streets shine like transparent gold. As he enters, he notices there is no temple, for God himself dwells among his people. A river flows from the throne, and on either side are trees bearing fruit every month. Their leaves, John learns, are for the healing of the nations. The people move freely, their faces radiant with the presence of God. John feels an overwhelming sense of belonging, as if every longing in his heart has been fulfilled. The throne room reappears, but this time it is filled with multitudes from every nation and language. They wear white robes and hold palm branches, their faces turned toward the Lamb. The elders and living creatures join in, and the sound of worship fills the heavens. It is a song of victory, redemption, and eternal peace. John sees the Lamb standing at the center, his wounds still visible, but radiant with glory. All creation bows before him, and the entire scene exudes a harmony that John realizes is the culmination of God's plan. John's vision begins to fade, and he finds himself back on the island of Patmos. The air is still, and the sky is filled with stars. Yet, John's heart is changed forever. He knows he has witnessed something that transcends time and space, a glimpse of the eternal plan of God. As he reflects on what he has seen, he feels a renewed sense of purpose. He begins to write everything down, knowing that his vision is meant to bring hope and guidance to others. The stars above seem to shine brighter, and John whispers a prayer of gratitude as he prepares to share his vision with the world.